One of the themes with Next Level Paycheck is that if you raise the level of your skills, you're going to raise the level of your ability to find more value in the work that you do. In other words, a better paycheck. And there are lots of skills that we can consider. I'm going to talk about a few of the high value ones. I've spoken a lot about emotional intelligence, right? And the emotional intelligence is the topic of raising your self-awareness, your empathy, and your relationship management. If your emotional intelligence is high, you start fewer fires. You leave fewer bodies in your wake. The emotional intelligence class that we teach, one of the exercises that we have is to look at people's expression, and from the expression of their face, determine what emotion they're feeling. When you practice this skill enough, you get pretty good at it. And what I'd like to challenge you with is to pick one of these skills, self-awareness, empathy, or relationship management. Practice it. And, practice listening. Practice listening for one day and see what changes, see what happens. Did it help? Just see. Let's talk about the skills of digital leadership. Let's face it, people who have a better grasp on technology tend to do better, right? It surprises me that there are so many people who do not understand, nor do they want to understand, social media and AI, right? Social media gives you a powerful platform to communicate with. And so not using social media is kind of like not using a telephone, right? I have a very dear relative who is a gifted artist. He's gifted, but he does not want to use any social media to display his work. So how will people find out that he's got a talent? How will people find out who he is and what he can do? Artificial intelligence. I'm telling you, there are just too many people now that think artificial intelligence, AI, is Satan, or it's evil, or you should not use it. AI, in my opinion, is at the same point of inflection that calculators used to be. And so a lot of people, and especially in academia, objected to the use of calculators in class because they said that we would become mentally flabby, that we wouldn't learn how to do the arithmetic appropriately. But you know what happened? We survived. I have my grandfather's slide rule around here somewhere. And I like to pick it up and look at it because in a way he still thinks that the use of the slide rule was a better way to calculate numbers, right? Values. My beloved grandfather is no longer with us, but his love of the slide rule still remains with us. The slide rule gave way to the calculator, and many things will give way to AI. Why fall behind on that? Why fall behind? I'll talk a little bit about the need for critical thinking still and how that becomes even more important. We'll talk about that coming up. Another skill that is close to digital knowledge is curiosity, an intellectual curiosity. Things are new. We wonder how they work. We try things, they fail or they work. But the thing that we have in common there is that there is a curiosity and a wonder about what we can do with this new thing that comes out. And we're not afraid to try it. We're not afraid to fail. Maybe that is another skill that we talked about earlier, which was risk-taking. What I would like you to do is to pick one digital tool, one that you do not know, you're not familiar with, and learn how to use it. Put some comments give me some comments so I can see what kind of things that you tried and what you learned. Critical thinking, I call it anti-gullibility skill. And what do I mean by that? In the world of hot takes and fake news, there's a lot of misinformation out here. And in this information age, it behooves us to be able to detect what's real from what's fake, right? The deep fakes are getting better and better, but to approach things with a critical eye and question, is this real? How can I check this? How can I cross-reference this? I made a comment on a video, and somebody made a comment, oh, it's too bad that you didn't give examples of what you were talking about. And I said, you know what? Yes, it's too bad that I did. But why don't you do it? Why don't you Google some things and see if you can find examples of what I just said? In other words, you do it because you can. And that's what we should all do. Google something, Google anything, and ingest what you see and apply some critical thought to it. So ask better questions, challenge assumptions, see the big picture. Here's your challenge. For every problem this week, think about one possible solution. No, think about 3 and research the 3 different solutions and see what you come up with. It's just a simple little problem. Just research 3 solutions and determine the best. Getting used to this kind of analysis, this kind of critical thinking will be very valuable.